It's a wolf. Or maybe it's a werewolf.
No, let me just make this perfectly clear. There is no such thing as werewolves. Our killer is a guy, and I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna kill... And we're gonna bring him to justice.
Hello, welcome back. Jess Flicks with Jesse. Once again, gonna talk about a movie I meant to talk about like last winter. I had set a goal for, but didn't happen. So we're gonna jump into it now because I feel like I need to do this. You've seen the title, Wolf of Snow Hollow. Okay, this came out in 2020 and great movie. Apparently seriously underviewed or underrated, or maybe people just hate it, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it, or haven't seen a lot of people talking about it. It's directed by Jim Cummings, who's also the lead in the movie. He made another movie I believe he also wrote and starred in called Thunder Road, which has a lot of parallels to this one. I'll get to eventually here. I hope I remember to bring it up later. Anyway, this is I guess best described as like a dramedy horror movie, if that makes sense. More heavy on the comedy and horror, but there is a strong like through line of drama and whatnot in this movie that kind of I think sets it above the rest, but it can also be probably or potentially what puts people off of it, as well as the type of humor in it. Personally, this is right up my alley. Plus, it's a werewolf movie, and I'm a huge fan of those. They're few and far between, especially good ones, or decent ones even, I would say. But this is it's something special. There was something really take a step back. Haven't watched Thunder Road still to this day, and I want to. I'm sure it's good. From what I've seen in this, it seemed very similar. Okay, so in this we have the lead, played by Jim Cummings. I believe his name was it. I got it written down. John Marshall. I'm going to read the actor's name again. John Marshall. He's a deputy sheriff. He's a recovering alcoholic, and he is divorced and kind of struggling and trying to keep connected with his teenage daughter. Now, I know there's a lot of parallels in Thunder Road to that just from the trailer and what I've read. He's a police officer. He's an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic, and he's a single father, I believe, in that one. So there's definitely some obviously strong parallels. This one, it's very it's very funny. Okay, so first of all, we have it's this town, and it's a pretty desolate town, and isolated, I guess is what I mean to say, and snowy mountain town, and people start getting murdered by, murdered by a werewolf, right? It's a werewolf movie. He's trying to solve it. He refuses to believe, like, there's all this evidence that keeps stacking up, insinuating that it's an animal, and people will bring up werewolf over, and he just gets pissed. And that's my favorite part about this is his character. He's just an angry person, and it's hysterical to me. The way he freaks out, the way he just like can't handle shit. His stress level is pegged almost all the time, and that pushes into like the alcoholism and stuff like that, and him dealing with his family. Also, his father is the sheriff, played by the late great Robert Forster, in his last movie that was released, I think, a year after he passed. So R.I.P. Robert Forster.
I won't ask you to pray with me because of the goddamn lawyers.
Huge fan of his. My head always goes back to Alligator. Great movie. We'll review one day, but he was fantastic in that. He's been fantastic in, I'd say, everything I've seen him in. Jackie Brown stands out a lot. He almost kind of stole the show for me in that one above everybody else. And that's saying a lot. He had a lot of heavy hitters in that movie. Great Quentin Tarantino movie. Underrated. But anyway, he plays his father. He's he's the sheriff. He's ailing. He's getting up in age, and he's struggling with that too. He's struggling with having to like potentially take over as sheriff, and all these murders that in this small town is a very big deal. And yeah, so it's just a great story, great characters. The werewolf itself, design-wise, is actually pretty fantastic. I was really shocked by that. That's something that can turn me off of a werewolf movie really quick, is the actual design of the werewolf. We can do all the build-up where you don't actually see anything, and it can be really good and scary and creepy, but then you actually see the creature, and it's like, ugh. I'm not a big fan of like the Wolfman design. It's okay, and it works. There have been plenty of movies that use it effectively, like that more man than wolf type, the classic, was that Lon Chaney, right? God, don't chastise me if I'm wrong on that. But I'm much more of a fan of the actual werewolf, man, like the big hulking werewolf. I love, Dog Soldiers. I love Bad Moon is a great one, especially as far as design goes, okay? This one stood out to me, actually, is pretty damn cool design. And the attacks and the scenes with the werewolf in it are really well done. There's a couple that are like quite freaky, to be honest, for such a funny-ass movie. And like I said again, and I'm kind of bouncing all over because I'm trying not to write too much shit down because then it feels like I'm reading from the script, right? The drama part is so good because it adds a lot of heart to the movie, and there is, and even like, just I think that's probably why Thunder Road, which I need to watch, would work, is that it does work. You feel for the characters, especially the lead. This guy's dealing with a shitload of stuff, and he's really trying his best, and he's not that good at it, and he doesn't handle it well.
In overtime because of the brutal murder that happened in town. And I didn't want to set up expectations that I can't keep.
Our expectations of you are very low.
But, he's still pushing through. And I love movies like that. That show really imperfect lead characters well. There's the cliche stuff, and again with the alcoholism and whatnot. Yeah, sure. That can be very cliche, but if it's handled right, it's effective. And it can get to you. And like I said, with the ailing, the parent and stuff that he's struggling with, it's all of it compounded on this one guy who's, probably not the best equipped to handle this situation.
They're saying it's a wolf.
No, it's a man. When do I get to be right?
Doing his best too. So anyway, carrying on, and I'm going to, not drag this out too much, but the movie does have some twists and turns. It's a great whodunit in a way. Good werewolf movies have that luxury, you're trying to figure out who the werewolf is, right? It's always kind of got that built into the context of it. They can show their hand 3/4 of the way through the movie, and it still works that way. This one, is one of those, again, where you're like, well, who is it? Is it a werewolf? We kind of find the answer out pretty quick. They're like, oh, it is a werewolf, you know what I mean? But they don't, and you get to follow along and see him just struggle and fight against the hell no, it's not a werewolf, and some funny moments that come from that alone, him struggling and arguing with everybody that's like, no, this is an animal, and he's like, no, it's a person.
Do your job, I am begging you.
And it's all rational with him. It has to be rational, but it's not. So yeah, really well handled movie, really fun. Definitely worth your time to watch, in my opinion. This is probably one of those things, though, where it's like, depends on your sense of humor and how you take things, because I think that maybe that's why maybe that's why I didn't get as much recognition as I think it should have. It really hit home to me it hit my sense of humor and my, hit my heart in the right ways, that kind of stuff. But it might not with everyone. But all the same, it's still a fun movie, and it's definitely worth a check out. There's so much worse crap out there right now that this is a good one to check out. I know it's on streaming. I don't know if it's free anywhere, unfortunately. Y'all can figure that out. We all have Google and IMDb. You can figure out what the movie's playing. And I don't know when you're going to be watching this. That shit changes, right? So anyway, so that's just my opinion. Wolf of Snow Hollow. Very cool flick. Came out 4 years ago. Cool flick. And again, Jim Cummings, I'd like to see more from him. I need to look and see if he's done anything recently. The only other thing I truly know him from was the flashback scene in Halloween Kills when they go back to 78 and he's Hawking's partner. And he did great in that. It was funny. It took me a couple of times watching that movie to realize that I'm like, oh shit, that's the dude from Snow Hollow, or Wolf of Snow Hollow. So anyway, I'd like to see him do some more. I'm sure he's probably acted more, but I need to look into it. Anyway, all the same, thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to try and ramble too long. I do that a bit, and I apologize. Sort of. I just don't want to ramble and talk in circles. If you've seen it, please let me know what you think down below. I tried to keep spoilers out of this. Hopefully I did pretty decent. I think I did. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Then come back and let me know what you thought. And yeah, please, if you got something that you think I haven't seen yet, let me know down in the comments as well too. I'd love to find some new stuff that's fun to watch, and something maybe I've looked over or thought looked stupid and was actually pretty good, because I think that sometimes good movies fall by the wayside. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please consider subscribing. That would be great too. And yeah, until next time, take care.